Is transitioning into tech right for you, or is it going to be a waste of your precious time? In this video, we'll break down the key factors you should consider, all the way from assessing your skills and interests to weighing potential opportunities. This will allow you to decide if transitioning into tech makes sense for you.
Let's start with assessment, because it doesn't matter how interested or exciting this business of tech is. If you don't have the minimum computer literacy necessary, it won't work. And some people do not have it. Some people are not good with computers naturally. So what we decided to do, we always had it. Now we front load this assessment where anybody, even if you are not considering working directly with Yellowtail Tech, you can take this assessment to understand where are you in terms of computer literacy. So under this video, we're gonna put a link where you just click on it. It's free. You take the assessment. You understand where you are in terms of computer literacy, and
that's us internally. But online, you can find other tests and quizzes that can help you identify your strengths.
Yeah, because a lot of people, they are super interested in IT, but they don't even have the minimum to move around a computer, to print something. You know, the very typical shortcuts is very foreign to them.
If you have to ask somebody for help every time you have to send a document in an email,
or if you have to ask somebody for help, if you need to screenshot a page on a computer, it's a red flag. You know, I emphasize a lot on assessment because that's one of the things we see a lot. People are super excited. They love the prospect.
Or maybe if you're really early into considering this, you can go and develop those skills because we can all learn.
Yeah. But there are, like you said, there are other assessments online for you to assess your personality.
Yes.
Because it's not everyone, it's not every personality that's built to work in front of a computer. Some people I talk to, they're like, yeah, I love what you do. I love how you are changing people's lives. But I could never see myself not working and interacting with people on a day-to-day basis. So that's not going to happen. You're going to be most likely in front either on a computer doing things to a system of sorts, or on a computer for a meeting.
Yeah.
So you are going to be in front of a computer. So the question is, are you comfortable being in front of a computer for on average 10 hours a day?
Yeah.
So this is a question you could ask as well. So,
but hey, maybe they're also tired of dealing with people and they want to transition into a more focused type of work.
Yeah, some people are tired. Some people are tired of not only dealing with people in general, with patients. We have a lot of nurses, a lot of people in the medical field in general, because it's stressful. It's not only dealing with people, it's dealing with the stress that comes around the environment. Of
the toll that takes on them.
Exactly. So it's the people and the pressure of the environment they work in.
Yeah.
So that's what I've
seen. So these are people that they come to us and they're like, I'd love to have a remote job. Like they think about some of the benefits of tech. Mm-hmm. And one of those is that people see that there's more flexibility. There's a lot of remote work opportunities. And you feel like you have an opportunity to make an impact, because some of us, we come from fields where things are not always under our control. Like if you work in the health field, your patient's outcomes is not completely based on you or on your work.
Yep.
So that's something that I felt when I was transitioning. I felt like for me to see results, I had to wait 2-3 years to see things materialize. So I wanted something and I didn't even know I wanted that, by the way. But as I transitioned, I noticed that every time I was able to build something and see it functioning, and I spent like days or hours working on it, that lit up a part of my brain that was really getting some level of satisfaction that I wasn't getting from my previous job.
And also the interesting part is about the skills, the upskilling that's necessary. You need to understand, not only it's great, it's gonna future-proof you, but you have to be ready to always be a student.
Yeah.
And Paloma, you can talk about that, because
you have to be a lifetime learner.
Yes, because for example, you continuously are taking not only training, but taking certification as well. Now you are working on a different certification, on your 11th certification. So you have to understand, this is not a static business. This is not something you learn and then you're done with. You have to be the kind of person who always is comfortable.
About what's the next big thing? What's the new technology that's changing how we operate? And that's what I'm going through now. During the last 6 years, all I studied was cloud, specifically AWS. And I tried to master AWS, but I got to a point where, like, now I support a lot of containerized applications that work on Kubernetes. So I needed to learn the nitty gritty of this to be able to do my job.
Yeah, but there's a big difference here. There's a difference between knowing about what technology is emerging, what technology is important, and there is thriving to master these new technologies. We can know about them all we want. You are thriving now to master a new technology, to become a subject matter expert of an additional technology, which is very important, because we talked about this in other videos, where the depth of your knowledge is actually way more important than the width. We can know a little bit about a lot, but that's not gonna either help you keep your job or either help you get a better job. It's about how deep in the technology you are willing to go. So yes, know and stay abreast with what's going on, but choose which technology is more relevant to you, interesting to you, and go into it. Is a decision you're gonna have to do every day.
Yeah. So we said we would talk about the cons too.
Yeah. So what are the cons?
Well, for some people, it's exactly that we were mentioning. They don't want to study every single year. They don't. They think it's like other careers where you go, you learn the trade, and that future proofs you for life. This is not one of those.
But I want to push back on that a bit. If you are really honest, there are very few career where you just learn once and then you never have to upskill.
No.
If you are really honest, because that's gonna keep you mediocre. Even being a real estate agent, you need to actually update
how you do marketing.
Not only that, it's required to get continuing education. So even that, it's a con. It's more important in tech, but it's in every career that you actually care about improving your skills. Yeah. So that's a con, but it's not the only one, and it's not the biggest one to me.
I think another thing related to learning is that steep learning curve at the beginning.
Yeah.
Some people are intimidated by having to learn about many things. Sometimes they even think they have to learn about more things than they actually need because they don't get the right guidance. So you start to feel like, oh my God, I want to go into tech, but I have to learn about databases. I need to learn a programming language. I need to learn Linux. Well, that's not necessarily true, but even with the right guidance, you're going to have to put in a lot of work to be able to have a solid base.
Yeah. And also understand and ask yourself this question. Besides making a lot of money, because that's how they say it, you can make a lot of money in tech. What else excites you about this industry? Ask yourself this question. Is it only the remote work? Because some jobs don't have remote opportunities. What else excites you? This needs to be clear. Your why about why you want to get into this business needs to be clear. If it's only about money, it's a problem, you know? So now let's talk about some practical tips, you know, to help people evaluate if it's a good idea. What would you say?
So I think the first thing is, what's your plan? How are you thinking about breaking into tech? Are you going to try to do it yourself? Do you have anybody that can mentor you, that can tell you like, hey, these are the hoops you're going to have to go through. This is how I do it. Or are you going to look for a program?
Yeah.
I didn't have a program technically when I started. And it was a longer route. I did have mentorship, right? But definitely when you have a program, when you have a structure that you just come into and you sit down Tuesday and Thursday and you learn new things, and then you go home with a plan on, this is what I need to do this weekend, this is what I need to practice, this is what I need to memorize, then things flow, right?
Yeah. The other thing I think you could do, that's even before that, Paloma, is find yourself some small projects, some small courses to start, you know, playing around with the idea of learning something in technology and see how exciting it is. You see, go on Udemy, buy a course on whatever technology you seem to be interested in and see if you can follow.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous because let's say you don't have any experience and you talk to that friend in tech and that friend tells you, oh yeah, you have to learn Kubernetes. Like learning Kubernetes without knowing Linux is going to be like pulling teeth, right?
Yeah. So that's why also it goes back to the mentorship thing. You have to be careful who's your mentor then.
Yeah.
You know, how did your mentor go through the process himself?
Yeah. Also, don't try to land exactly at where your mentor is today, right?
Exactly.
Because if your mentor has 10 years of experience and is now dealing with containers, then that's a totally different ballgame. You should try to ask your mentor, like, hey, what knowledge is a prereq so that I can be doing what you're doing today?
And that's one of the struggles with our students. They come in and they want that $150,000, $200,000 job from the get. That's what they come in with. They come in with the humility or the mindset of a learner. They don't come with the idea that, yeah, I have to start low and build my way up, which I think is very dangerous. And the problem is not only their expectation, it's what's being sold on the internet, what's being sold by the influencers. You know, how you're gonna make $150,000 in no time. You know, it's not impossible.
No.
But it shouldn't be the mindset.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So that's where the worry is.
And the truth is, with some years of experience, you can get there. Some people land directly, but most go in with a good entry level job and then transition into a more junior role pretty soon.
Yeah. So basically, what we're saying is transitioning into tech is a big decision, and you have to be careful and do a lot of self-introspection. Ask yourself the right question.
Talk to the right people.
And assess if at least you have the minimum computer literacy to jump into that, and then go from there. So I encourage you to start with an assessment. We're gonna have a link at the end of the video, at the bottom of the video, where you can actually do it for free. This is where I suggest you start, but take it easy. Make sure, if you don't hear anything else, but make sure you don't only consider tech just because of the financial rewards. Make sure it's something that will, be in line with what you want for your career on the long term.